5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the fuck he was.
I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious.
The fighters and, actual fighters, some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small.
Jake Paul issued a firm warning to Gervonta Davis during a live session, making it clear that anyone doubting him is mistaken. He emphasized that he takes his training and preparation very seriously and feels confident in his abilities inside the ring. Paul also claimed that Davis wouldn't be able to withstand his power, insisting that the fight will ultimately prove his point.
Potentially kill you if you got on the ring with him.
He's a 5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
Streamer Aiden Ross expressed strong confidence that Jake Paul will surprise the boxing world against Gervonta Davis. He argued that anyone doubting Jake simply doesn't understand the sport. Ross pointed out that Jake has improved with every fight and now possesses the skills to challenge even a champion-level boxer. He dismissed critics who view Jake as just a YouTuber-turned-fighter, noting that Jake has already proven himself in the ring. For Ross, this bout is less about Davis' legacy and more about Jake's rise, and he believes Jake's determination and discipline make him a formidable opponent.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm gonna be very surprised if Jake's not favored on the sports betting on sports. Like all you guys saying and all this shit, do you guys understand that it's all about weight and shit? Like, all right, I'm gonna keep it a full-on buck with you guys. If you don't think Jake Paul's gonna win, you know nothing. You know nothing. I am a casual. I've never been in a fight before, but I like sports and I like watching fighting. I'm telling you guys right now, Jake Paul wins this fight. It's very obvious, right? It's very, very, very obvious.
Gervonta Davis often faces criticism not for his in-ring ability, but for his struggles outside the ring when it comes to promoting fights. Analysts point out that Davis has sometimes struggled to generate hype, even within his own division. In contrast, Jake Paul and his brother Logan have mastered the art of promotion, turning every fight into a global spectacle and selling millions of pay-per-views through their charisma and entertainment savvy. This dynamic is what makes Jake's upcoming fight so compelling on a worldwide scale. Critics argue that Davis' brand alone isn't strong enough to carry such an event without Jake's influence.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pound. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference. That boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you. Apparently, boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
Shakur Stevenson, widely regarded as one of boxing's most technically skilled fighters, openly criticized Gervonta Davis for taking on Jake Paul. Stevenson argued that it's a disservice to the sport for Davis to pursue this fight instead of facing top contenders in his division. He noted that Davis had better opportunities, such as a matchup with Stevenson himself, which could have solidified his status as the best lightweight. By choosing a bout with a celebrity boxer, Stevenson sees it as a move driven more by money than by competitive legacy. His remarks reflect a broader concern among purists who want to see meaningful championship fights rather than crossover spectacles.
What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Oladipo offered a different perspective on the upcoming fight, emphasizing that both Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are still in the prime of their careers. He argued that, at this stage, this matchup shouldn't be happening. Oladipo pointed out that fighters like Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul staged exhibition bouts after their peak years, which made sense from an entertainment standpoint. In his view, Davis and Paul still have bigger, career-defining fights ahead and should avoid spending their prime on spectacle events. He suggested that this fight would have been better suited for later in their careers.
Whether you agree with it or not, Gervonta is considered the #1 lightweight in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered #1 in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, I don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, it's done, right? Floyd versus Conor, did he have one more after? Was that it? I can't even remember. But it was right at the end. It was done right at the end, even if it wasn't, right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. Guessing he walks around about 155. Like, what? Like, Jake Paul, I've been around him. I'm 5'11", I'd say he's 6'1". Gervonta, I've been around him, I'd say he's 5'4", 5'5", max. And you know, a lot of these guys wear those big heels.
Pauli got heated when discussing the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight during a debate with Chris Algieri. He argued that knockouts only carry significance when they come against elite competition, not carefully arranged matchups. Pauli cited legends like Felix Trinidad and Mike Tyson, who proved their power against the best fighters of their eras. He criticized Davis for avoiding top contenders for years, despite the lightweight and super featherweight divisions being filled with talent. For Pauli, comparing this fight to the glory days of Tyson is disrespectful, and he dismissed the matchup as nothing more than a money grab.
Look at Jake Paul's career.
You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture that though. You can manufacture. You
can't manufacture.
To a degree, you can. To a degree, I mean, you can't. Yeah, Gervonta legitimately cannot get knockouts. I agree. He can punch, but there's a lot of limited knockout artists though, man.
He's one of the least active punchers in the game with the highest knockout percentage of current heavyweight.
But if he was a real knockout artist,
champions.
If he was a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best of the best. Felix Trinidad was a knockout artist. He was knocking out the best of the best. If you're a real knockout artist, prop him up against the best and show us how he smokes them. But the way Wayne did when Felix Trinidad was doing it. You know, the way they did when Mike Tyson was doing it in his prime. Okay, say what you want about the Mike Tyson era. He knocked out everyone from 1986 to 1989. Everyone got knocked out. Everyone.
Well, by your standard, you could say that Tyson was to a degree manufactured.
No,
and
because
Teddy
he fought everyone that was there. Everyone that was there at that time fought.
Teddy Atlas will 100% agree with this,
with the expense of
Witherspoon. That were afraid of him.
With the exception of Witherspoon. No, but they all, doesn't matter. He knocked them all out. There was nobody you could say in that era except maybe Witherspoon, who I contract.
You can say the same thing about
who had contract issues with King at the time. Except for Witherspoon, there is nobody Tyson didn't fight in that era. He knocked them all out. You can't say like, oh, but if he would have fought that guy, I don't know. No, with Davis, there's guys right now that have been hanging around for years. Yo, dude, when you gonna fight them? The lightweight division was stacked with talent. Even at 130, it had a lot of talent when he was there. Didn't fight almost any of them. So it's not the same thing as the Tyson era. You want to say anything about Tyson era? Fine. It wasn't as high level or something. He still knocked out everyone. There was nobody there in that era that you can say Tyson didn't fight.
Didn't say it was related. It was the same as the Tyson era. Didn't say it at all. I was actually going to say the opposite when you talk about Trinidad. Trinidad is a bona fide superstar, and the way that he was, and like you said,
you
he
stepped
fought
him up
everybody,
and he knocked out.
And he was a knockout punches. No, of course.
Analysts view the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup more as a spectacle than a traditional boxing contest. They point out that Jake isn't at a championship level, so pursuing belts doesn't make much sense for him. Instead, this type of fight draws massive attention due to its entertainment value. With Netflix backing the broadcast, the bout is guaranteed a huge audience regardless of who wins. Some predict that Davis will dominate, given Jake's limitations in skill and speed, while others argue the fight remains appealing because fans are drawn to unusual matchups. Ultimately, the focus is more on spectacle and attention than on legacy.
Like, I think he's tactfully, as I said, I think he's tactfully saying, like, oh,
even
if
he's promoting it the other way, I've been very consistent on my Jake Paul thoughts. I will reiterate one more time. I would rather see this because it's a spectacle than him versus Ryan Borland or Andre August or chasing these like quote unquote championship dreams in boxing. I don't think he's a championship level boxer. I don't really care about that journey. I want to see him in spectacles. Netflix is going to air Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. So to me, this is,
Do you think it will do well?
It will be watched. It will be watched.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. A lot of people are going to watch.
I would rather see Anthony Joshua just because that has been put out there and is on the table. But I will watch this.
I saw some people breaking this down on, it was a non-fight pod. It was, I don't remember which one. And they were saying like, oh, Tank's going to kill him. Tank's going to kill him because he won't be able to touch Tank. And then
Stephen Fulton, a respected American boxer, spoke in defense of Gervonta Davis amid ongoing criticism. Many fans and analysts have accused Davis of chasing easy money instead of pursuing legacy-defining fights. Fulton offered a different perspective, highlighting that boxers have the right to seek life-changing paydays, especially considering the short span of a fighting career. He stressed that while fans often focus on legacy, fighters must also think about their families and futures. From Fulton's viewpoint, there's nothing wrong with Davis taking a high-paying bout, even if it frustrates hardcore fans hoping to see him face elite opponents.
Body in that position would have taken that fight, especially with the payout. It's like, that's a no-brainer, but I understand. I still feel for Lamont, that's my boy. Like, he still want his rematch. But then when you be realistic about the money situation, you're changing your whole family life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's people hate on it because they're not in that position. I'm not saying Lamont. I'm speaking like other boxers. Be like, oh, he this for that. He's this. It's a side quest. It's a little side quest. Because what happened when Floyd and all these guys went on WWE, but then they get right back to what they doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's another little side quest. I'm all for people just getting their money. So get the best, make the most that you can out of this entertainment world. Because I don't know. I would have done it. Far as the money aspect, because none of us would deny that money. They talking like they would. None of them would deny that money.
D. Chambers issued a strong warning about underestimating Gervonta Davis. While acknowledging Jake Paul's physical size, Chambers emphasized that Davis remains an extremely skilled and dangerous fighter despite being smaller. He noted that anyone stepping into the ring with Davis without elite ability will likely struggle. According to Chambers, Davis's sharpness, speed, and knockout power make him one of the toughest fighters to handle pound for pound. His remarks reflect the split in opinion. Some focus on Jake's size, while others insist that Davis's skill set will always give him the advantage.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media. This is what is created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from him. And it ain't going to be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out. So there's nothing that Jake Paul can do aside from make it extremely ugly by grabbing him and probably trying to throw him to the ground. I don't know what else. Bite him. I don't know. But, I mean, the skill level alone. Now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference and all that. But he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. You know, it's just going to look bad. To me, this is the way I see it. It's going to look bad. Tank is going to be too fast. And the punch, I believe, I'm not saying it's going to knock him out or, you know, but he's going to feel it.
Several analysts believe that the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight is generating more global attention than traditional matchups like Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Their reasoning is straightforward. Jake Paul is not just a boxer, but also an entertainer with a massive following that extends far beyond the sport. Unlike most fighters who mainly attract hardcore fans, Jake taps into mainstream culture, drawing millions of casual viewers. This crossover appeal elevates the event beyond a typical fight. Analysts suggest that, while purists may criticize it, the numbers will show that Jake versus Davis is dominating headlines worldwide.
2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout, who's a far bigger star in the sport of boxing than Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Canelo's not a bigger global star than Jake Paul because Jake Paul is an entertainer outside the sport of boxing. That's why. So now you have people telling you that Jake Paul and Tank Davis is a circus fight. Okay? It's a commercial circus fight on top of that. Jake Paul fights at cruiserweight and heavyweight. 200 plus pound, 200 minimum. Okay, his last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., former world champion, the son of a legend, he weighed in at 199 pounds. He fought Iron Mike Tyson at 224 pounds. Okay? Tank Davis fights at 135 pounds. You have the storyline of David and Goliath. That's going to push the entertainment part. Okay? That's going to get people to draw interest in the fight. Why? Because you have the whole David and Goliath situation going on. So again, that attracts people. Okay? So it's a sideshow. But even the sideshow, yes, it's going to be on Netflix. Yes, it's going to be a big event on Netflix. But guess what? They are fighting at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. That holds max for concerts, 21,000 people. Canelo and Terence Crawford, September 13th, this Saturday, Las Vegas, Nevada, at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas Raiders Stadium. They just added seats and they're expecting 72,000 people in attendance.
Sebastian Fondora, a rising contender in his own weight class, shared his perspective on the fight. Fondora admitted he's happy for Gervonta Davis, particularly from a financial standpoint. He acknowledged that Davis deserves the payday, even if the matchup doesn't make much sense competitively. Fondora's view reflects the mindset of many active fighters who understand how difficult it is to secure life-changing earnings in such a demanding sport. While fans may debate legacy, fighters like Fondora recognize that the financial opportunity alone justifies Davis' decision.
Everybody knows Tank Davis is fighting Jake Paul. Crossover matchup on steroids. Talk to us about it. What you think?
That's all it is, man. But it's good. Good for him. I'm happy for him. You know, everybody wants to do that, man. If you can go rob the bank and not get in trouble, why not, man? Why not?
Coach Reg offered a practical perspective on the controversy surrounding Gervonta Davis' fight. He highlighted that Davis has already accomplished a great deal at a young age, so there's no shame in taking a bout like this. According to Reg, even if Davis were considering retirement soon or after this fight, it would be understandable. He has already established himself as one of the top lightweights of his generation, and fighters eventually earn the right to cash in. Reg believes critics often overlook Davis' achievements and that boxing shouldn't prevent him from securing a major payday.
I mean, especially Tank been talking about retirement, so why not get the bag and then go about your business if that's your plan? I mean, if that's your plan to retire, then go get the bag and go about your business. You ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm not against it.
You got some people that are very critical, Tank. Does it make sense depending on what you're in boxing for? Because you got some people that want to fight the best. You got some people that want the accolades, the belts, you know, the undisputeds. And you got some people that just came in this game like, look, I'm trying to get my family out of poverty and give us generational wealth. Does it all depend on what you decided to box for?
Well, I mean, Tank accomplished a lot at a young age. You know what I mean? He accomplished a lot at a young age. So I wouldn't be mad if he took the bag and went about his business and never fought again. You know what I mean? Plus, like, look at some of the things that he's going through. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of that can affect you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're trying to be in this game. So I think, you know, get the bag and go. That's your plan. Get the bag and go.
For me, of course, I wanted to see him fight Shakur. I wanted to see him fight Devin.
Yeah, we don't want to see him fight.
Guess what, bro?
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.